Well, thank you. That's very nice. You see, when you do that, you make me feel a certain sense of obligation. Well, we're gathered here for another night of mirth and merriment or something like that. I watched, last night, just sat home and watched television, which I saw the whole night. And I actually saw, of all the hundreds of commercials, I actually saw one, and Bill Cosby wasn't in it. He does everything but BVDs. I was watching cable. I get the cable channels, and I tune in, and I see a close-up of Doc Severinsen and his trumpet saying, "I play jazzier in my BVDs, so help me." True. You thought you could sneak out on cable and do that, right? We're going to test that theory some night, live, on the air. And I want to see if you play jazzier wearing your BVDs.
I'm wearing my commercial strength.
Anyway, let's go to the news and see if General Noriega and Jimmy Swaggart have teamed up to do a vaudeville act called Those Two Kinky Guys. You know, they're both alike. You can't get rid of either one of those guys. Now, Jimmy Swaggart, how many of you know Jimmy Swaggart is back in the pulpit? According to the church, the Assemblies of God, they set him down. They suspended him for a year. And he came back after 3 months on his own, started preaching. Now, remember when Jim Baker got into his problems? Swaggart came out and said, Baker shouldn't come back for at least 2 years. But James took a 3-month crash course in cleansing or something. At the Evelyn Woods School, or got de-bimboed or whatever, and he's back. Now, next one. According to news last night, and this was on the cable news, next month, that article comes out in, I won't mention the magazine, but it's one of those men's magazines, written by the, how do I put this? By the prostitute. See, a few years ago, we couldn't say that on television. I still can't get used to it. This lady of the evening, we call them. That Swaggart, apparently, according to her in the article, he visited her 20 times in 1 year. And she didn't know him as Jimmy. She knew him as Billy. Now, there's a clever guy. I mean, I thought he had some imagination. Why do you change your name from Jimmy to Billy? You change it to something like, my name is Monsford Klinghoff. You come in. Yes. I'm going to put on the helmet and the boots, and we're going to play Invasion. All right, now here's a weird news item. I'm not making this up. Los Angeles Times this week. There's a travel club in London that is booking vacation tours this summer. Where do you think? To the trouble spots, the hot spots around the country. Central America, the Persian Gulf. I'm not making this up, and they're negotiating right now with a hotel, they said, in the mountains of Lebanon overlooking Beirut. Hey, don't rush out. Don't rush out. Oh, I want to get in line for that one. Do you believe that? I don't think I want to join a travel club that books you on Trans Debris Airlines. Can you see? I can just see the stewardess. Welcome aboard, sir. Is that first class or hostage? Just talking about it. Would you prefer the armed or unarmed section? Yes. Is that the smoking gun or non-smoking gun? And I can't wait for those wonderful accommodations overlooking Beirut. You'll stay at the beautiful Club Dead and dance under the bursting mortar shells to the wonderful music of Sammy Shiite and the Terrorists. Let's go. Is that a great name? And then on to the Persian Gulf for some night water skiing in the Straits of Hormuz. Wow. Nice thing, you never have to leave a wake-up call. They just throw a grenade under your bed every morning. You're Another weird news item from Boston. True. You from Boston? There was a policeman on duty in a supermarket because they were having some trouble with shoplifters. And he sees a man, I'm quoting from the article, stuffing sushi in his socks. Then the man went over to the meat area and shoved 2 whole roast beefs into his shorts. And they arrested the guy. Now, I don't know about you. I don't want to be anywhere around when they present that evidence in court. Your Honor? Your Honor, I would like to introduce into evidence the squid and the roast beef and mark them as exhibits P and U. Anyway, we got a good show tonight. We have Mr. Chevy Chase with us tonight. We have a lady who's been with us, appearing on the show a number of years. She has a gardening show on television. We call her the Mistress of Mulch, the garden, the guru of the garden. Thalassa Crusoe is here tonight to help you with the comedian Bill Maher, and a gentleman. You know what the Iditarod is? Yeah. The Iditarod is that 1,200-mile race across, across the snows of Alaska. Yeah. What? Snows. Across the snows, yes. Well, what else would it be across?
I answered it. You didn't.
You see, when you're an author and the royalties are flowing in, you don't care anymore. Anyway, John Suter is here to talk about that. So stay where you are, and later on, as a surprise guest, we just were able to arrange this at the last minute. Jimmy Swaggart will be out here to sing "Can She Bake a Cherry Pie, Billy Boy?" So stay where you are.